I've made some videos about the venues that we'll be visiting this autumn. I thought it was time to do something about the birds that we'll be seeing. So the first birds I'm looking at are hirundines, that is swallows and martins. If someone uses the word hirundine, they are referring to swallows and martins. It comes from the Latin word hirundo, meaning swallow. And normally these should be getting ready to migrate in September. There are 3 common species of hirundine in the UK. The first to arrive is usually the sand martin, then there is the more familiar swallow, and finally the house martin. The sand martin is the smallest of these common species. It is completely brown above and white below, with a brown collar across the breast. It has a forked tail like other family members, but its tail is extremely short. Its call isn't as musical as the twittering swallow that you can hear now, or even the farting house martin, which makes a noise like that. The first return in sand martins should start turning up above water in March. Locally, they are still fairly in good numbers in the low, crumbling boulder clay cliffs around Barmston and Fraysthorpe. The swallow. The swallow is the largest of the 3 species. It has the longest wings, and the male has extremely long tail feathers. This year's youngsters have much shorter tails, but they are still longer than the martins. The swallow can appear black above and white below, but is actually glossy dark blue in good light, as you can see here. It has a dark red chin and has a dark blue-black breastband underneath the red. The house martin is in between the sand martin and the swallow in size. Like the swallow, it can appear black above, but is actually a glossy dark blue. Its most obvious identifiable feature in flight is its white rump, which differentiates it from both the sand martin and the swallow. Anecdotally, several people mentioned this year that fewer return to their nest under the eaves of houses, but it remains to be seen if they did well in the heat of the summer. Of course, in warm summers their nests can dry out and fall onto the floor before the youngsters fledge. One September, we were at Paul at high tide when a large flock of hirundines gathered and rested on some branches that had been washed up. All 3 species can be seen here in this photo taken at the time. They all seem to be immature birds. There are some sand martins on the left of the branch, a couple of house martins in the middle, and a single immature swallow on the bottom right. A young swallow doesn't have the deep red chin of its parents at first, but has more of a yellowish tinge. The dull grey background is actually the sludgy River Humber. In the past, observers saw these gatherings of hirundines, and because they were last seen around water, they speculated that they spent the winter at the bottom of ponds. Gilbert White, an 18th century clerical naturalist, wondered if they migrated or headed south. It was quite a long time before the question of migration was conclusively proved correct. Even now, some mysteries of migration remain. For instance, it isn't precisely known where the UK house martins spend our winter months. All scientists can say is that they migrate to sub-Saharan Africa and overwinter in tropical Africa, which of course is rather vague. In contrast, our swallows have been traced to an area around Durban in South Africa, while sand martins overwinter in parts of West, East and Southern Africa. Last year, because of the hot summer, the hirundines had largely all gone when the classes resumed in the 3rd week of September, but many usually stay until October. this year has been similarly scorching, so I wouldn't be surprised if most of these birds have already left our shores when my bird watching classes begin again on the 21st of September. I'm ending with a swift because a lot of people think that is the same family as a swallow. They think it's related, but it's no relation at all. But that shape is the perfect aerodynamic shape for an aerial lifestyle. And because swallows, martins and swifts all have a similar lifestyle, they have got this similar shape. Next time we'll probably be talking about short-eared owls. See you next time.